Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for watching the last few videos, if you did. It really means a lot as making these videos is very fun for me. I just do it in my spare time, but it's, just a lot of fun to make these videos and uh, share with my friends. Whether you're friends from the rock band community or, local scene, or even if you just come across my video just randomly. With that said, I thought I'd start a bit of a new series that I might only cover every few months or so. However, when live music picks up and bands start putting out more singles and albums and stuff, this will be easier to make videos for sure. As you saw from my first video on this channel, which is the bands you should check out video, I am a big supporter of local music. It needs to live on. Like, local music is very important. Manitoba music is just so awesome and unlike any other scene in Canada, in my opinion, especially the folk and the hardcore scenes. Now, as proud as I am of that video, because it was my first one, I admit it wasn't the best produced, because I was using pretty subpar editing software and had awful lighting. This was before my lighting is gonna be shitty here for 1 second, but this was before I bought this thing, this ring light thing. I didn't even have this for the first few reviews I did. I think the first review I did with this thing was the Beach Bunny review, which is probably like my favorite video so far, because that's where I started adding the clips in. And I know I pretty much just started doing this like a couple months ago, but yeah, I would definitely say that's probably my proudest video. Although I am very proud of the last video actually too, where I started adding more transitional clips and music in the clips as well. I took a risk because having music in your clips at all, or having music in your videos at all, that belongs to people or whatever, is pretty risky. So I took a risk, and I thought, just quality over whatever. It's not like I'm getting paid for this yet or anything. So yeah, why not? I thought I would have risked it anyways. I have to give a shout out to one of my subscribers and a good friend, Sheldick, who told me a few great pointers. Shell gave me some good editing software for Mac or for Windows, etc., etc. Of course, I am on Mac right now. I am using Shotcut, which is really good. So thanks, Shell, if you're watching this. Over the past few months, as I mentioned, I've been adding new editing techniques such as adding live clips in reviews, which is I started the Beach Bunny review with and all that, and extremely happy with how those turned out. I really hope you like that editing style. Without further ado, and because I have no other segue to get into what I'm going to talk about, I'm going to start reviewing local singles and albums, and EPs, demos, whatever. This video will comprise of 3 of my favorite singles that have been released over the past month and a half, starting with Anxiety by metalcore and hard punk outfit Epirus.
Starts to race, I gotta leave this place. I'm feeling like
They consist of Chris Olsen on vocals, Evan Shepard on drums, Adam McGreevy on bass, and until this month, Tyler Dirksen on guitar. This is the band's 4th single, if you include the first single, which included James Blick from A Grizzly Fate. And this song has a gnarlier, dirtier production and way disgusting gutturals. This band takes much of their influence from easycore, metalcore, and deathcore genres, modern and old school among others, so it's no surprise what they've done here. To start, it begins with a form of an interlude with a spoken word narration about anxiety, as the song title is evidently about. Now, I sometimes find these spoken word intros in these metalcore and deathcore songs somewhat kind of tacky, if if that's an appropriate word for them. But I think it works really well here. There's some local bands and just bands in general that misuse these spoken word intros, and I have no issue with the intros in general, but if you're, it has to be about something. It can't be just there just for the sake of being there. It can't be just like a random news clip with that has nothing to do with it or something. It has to be about something. And Anxiety does it really well. The intro also transitions very well into the screamed verse, which has great gutturals from Chris. The guitars on this track are also very Dillinger Escape Plan esque. Hopefully, I got that influence right because I don't see mathcore in their influences, but I definitely hear a bit of mathcore. Like I said, with the production, it is by far their best sounding song, even if it is a bit muddy in the mix at times, and that especially has to do with the verses. Sometimes I find that Chris's vocals and gutturals can be a bit overpowered by just whatever else is in the mix, especially the bass. However, the drums and the bass are extremely huge, especially the drums. One of the best parts of the song is the gutturals. They're just extremely low. Like, they're dumb low. I'm going to rate this song an 8.7 out of 10 because these ideas and riffs, so good. I think they can be put together very well in the right mix. But honestly, there could be some EQing or something that could be done to get some of the yucky stuff out or whatever. Get some of the, round it out, equalize it out, kind of round it out. Overall, it's a really great track. Now we get to that second track, which is A Grizzly Fates, Bush did 7-Eleven. Now, I did mention A Grizzly Fate a bit back there. That's because James, the lead singer from this band, did a collab with Epirus. And yes, he's on this track. Now, James is, in my opinion, one of the most unique lead vocalists in the city. I absolutely love his style. It could be a bit hard to get into at first if you're not so well versed into like the easy core styles or something. But for someone that's been listening to like a lot of, I don't know, Silverstein or A Day to Remember, stuff like that, it was easy for me to get past, I guess, at first listen. And I first heard these guys, I can't remember exactly where, but it might have been just randomly from someone else's Facebook page or post mid 2020 when they had just released There's the Door. I remember that track kicking a lot of ass. Check There's the Door out for sure. But this is about Bush did 7-Eleven. This easycore and hardcore band delivers tasty, low riffs, fun shows, and takes pride in being Winnipeg's current only, mainly, easycore band. By the way, let me know if y'all need a vocalist or something, because we could totally be a second easycore band if you want. But yeah, like with riffs inspired by A Day to Remember and much, much more. This band consists of James Blick on vocals, Avery on guitar, Griffin on bass, and Carlton on guitar. Bush Did 7-Eleven is the band's third single and first single from the new album Treading Water, which is being released sometime in the spring or summer. I'm very excited to hear this, especially after that second single Ode to Split Screen came out. That track's amazing as well. I would definitely recommend that one too. Regardless, Bush Did 7-Eleven is a hard, bass-driven rager which sees some of the band's best production, with the sweet distorted bass Nice playing, Griffin. Seriously, nice playing. As well as what sounds like a high pitched guitar or keyboard synthesizer baked into the back end of the track, in the choruses and all that. It really honestly brings out the chorus and the theme of the album very well. One thing with this track that I thought could have been better is in the mixing, which is something that I seemingly always have problems with, but coming from an engineer and mixer standpoint or background, um, yeah, that's gonna really affect a track for me. There is parts where the clean vocals from James sound far too quiet. There's the Door didn't have this problem. I actually don't think Ode Split Screen actually has this problem. I think this is their only track that suffers from this problem. But I did feel like the low end of the track really overpowers James' vocals, which clean vocals, that is, because James has, again, a very unique voice, and you need to check it out, especially on those early singles. Great, great vocals. This, again, could have something to do with the fact that there's so much going on in that part, but I really enjoyed that portion of the track. Um, Regardless. Another thing is when Carlton and James are trading screamed vocals. I feel like it could have been balanced a little bit better. I feel like Carlton's lower vocals or lower gutturals are a bit higher in the mix than James are. And they're both great screamers. Carlton also does vocals for a band here called Plane Shifter, who are very good. Check out Plane Shifter. I could say check out everybody here. But yeah, he sings for them, and he also does, I guess, backing vocals for this band. But yeah. Regardless, this is a great song, and I think it will be very fun at live shows, as all of their songs are. Cheers, boys. We'll see you when live shows come back. I'll give this track an 8 out of 10. The last track is probably something you saw coming. This song was released in January, so I'm a bit late on the hype train, but I think this song deserves to be hyped still because I think it's probably their best song so far, or at least up there. The last track is Prinport's New Things Coming Soon. If you know me well, you'll know these boys are my favorite Manitoba band. They consist of Mikael Orth on guitar and clean vocals, Thomas Winslow on bass, Collar Olenek on drums, and Dylan Copeland on scream vocals. This is another huge sounding track and has probably their best production. If you don't know, Prinport came up in the scene in 2019 when they released their first self-titled EP, which featured Shipments. A fan favorite at shows, as well as some other kick-ass tracks are really, really fun in pits, such as Cardinals. After the release of that EP, however, we actually didn't really hear a lot from them. Connor joined a couple other projects, like Black Pine, which also had one of my best friends, Noah, in the band. Yeah, outside of that, until 2021, we didn't really hear a lot. Like, there were some teasers, there were some acoustic versions. There was this acoustic version of Shipments that was very well done. Yeah, until 2021, when they released Big Things Coming Soon, which I'd like to call a teaser track to bigger and better things coming soon. This track came out of total surprise, and upon first listen, I liked it already more than the EP, for sure. Which is saying something because I swear I listened to that EP literally every day or every other day walking to college. So, there's something. It has much better production and even better vocals. it made me excited to hear a new project from these boys. I'll be honest, this has to be one of Mikhail's best choruses by far. In terms of vocal skill and catchiness. Great hook. Great hook. This is a hard slapping post hardcore track if I've ever heard one. The chord progression and the Will Swan inspired verse riff is by far the highlight of this track. Another standout portion is Dylan's unclean vocals, which have seriously improved in my opinion as well. These riffs are just absolutely great, massive sounding, especially the breakdown riff in the final portion of the song. Like, check that hardcore riff. Like, I'll play it right now. The song nets a 9 out of 10 for me. I cannot wait to see it live and break some knees to this hot track. Can't wait to hear more. Cheers, boys. And that's it. Leave a comment, leave a like or dislike, and I'm out. I don't know what the next video will be, honestly. I'm probably gonna start only doing the month end wrap ups like every 2 months or so. That will be more albums to get through, but I'll probably just spread them out or something like that. Like, perhaps I'll do multiple of them a month, multiple shorter ones a month or something like that. I just prefer to do the shorter album reviews, you know. An album I'm looking forward to reviewing is the new Las Vegas album, which will be released next Friday. And probably the next actual album review I'll be doing is either the new AJR album or probably the new Evanescence album. I haven't decided exactly. Citizen also released an album yesterday, so I might check that out. Please support these boys. Check it out. If you're from Winnipeg, go to one of their shows and yeah, check it out. Music review. Local boys, Prinport, A Grizzly Fate, Epirus, 2021. Boom.